Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing my top 5 products from 5 different brands. And I saw Michelle Wong do this and I had to do this video myself. I've also seen a bunch of other creators do it after Michelle Wong. It just looked like such a fantastic video idea to do. And if you're not subscribed to Michelle, I will leave her channel and her video that she did this idea down below so you can check her out. She's an absolute gem on YouTube, and you guys, if you're not already subscribed, I'm sure a lot of you are, but you must. She is one of my favorite YouTubers to watch. She does a ton of great content. I especially go to her for luxury beauty recommendations because she has the best taste in makeup and gives the best recommendations. For my video, I did want to start off with Drugstore first. Normally I would probably go high-end initially, but I did want to do Drugstore first, and then next time, if you guys like this video idea, we can definitely do high-end beauty. All the Drugstore brands I'm featuring in this video, I actually use the products on my face, so whatever you see here is Drugstore, and I decided to go with NYX, L'Oreal, Maybelline, Burts Bees, and e.l.f. for this video, though there's other Drugstore brands I could definitely do. These were the top 5 that came to mind for this time around, but if you like these videos, I can definitely do more in the future. So without further ado, let's go ahead and find out my top 5 from each of these brands. The first 2 brands I'm going to talk about were actually really difficult for me to get it to 5. 2 of the products are kind of tied, so I might share 6, but I will try and get it down to 5 for this because, as I said, these 2 brands for me are it for Drugstore. Like, I always find great products from them and they just work for me. So the first one is NYX. A couple years ago, I wouldn't have chose this brand, to be quite honest, because recently they really stepped up their game, and a bunch of their products they have here are all some of their newer things. Only a couple of them are older NYX products, but most of it is new. So they've really stepped it up. They've curated products that really fit my lifestyle, things that I personally want to use. I'm just really excited to see what NYX comes up with next, because whoever is doing their product development, spot on. The first one I had to talk about, gonna come as no surprise, so we're gonna get out of the way first. And this is the Lift and Snatch Brow Tint Pen. And I recently converted to this pen because I used to use the Urban Decay Brow Blade, as many of you know, and I like that feathery sort of microbladed look to the brows, and this is even better than the Urban Decay, cheaper, but the product itself, the tip of this is much more fine, so you really have that control, and the color. This is in black, and the deepest shade in Urban Decay still pulls a little red on me. It's a little too warm, and this one is just perfect. So I absolutely love everything about this product, and it's my go-to for my brows now. So I had to get that out of the way first. And then next product from NYX that I love and always have on hand, and I recently finished one of these. This is the Soft Matte Lip Cream in London, and I am wearing it on my lips today. It's my perfect kind of go-to everyday sort of nude lip. Super comfortable on the lips. These were one of the first kind of liquid lips, but they don't have that dry formula. They have that moussey, whipped consistency. Has a really nice small doe foot. The formula just feels really comfortable, something you can just throw in your bag, don't have to look at putting it on. It just works. It's my favorite lip product from NYX, my favorite color. Even out of high-end products, like I reach for the Soft Matte Lip Cream in London over high-end. Like, it is such a good formula, smells good, wears good, everything you want in a lip product. And then the next product I recently fell in love with when I was testing out the viral NYX makeup. Children are running upstairs. If you ever hear hammering in my video, I know people ask, it's my kids. I'm sorry guys, I can't get them to stop running. Like, I'm gonna let them run. I try and have them limited, but you know, if they're having fun and they're playing and they're active, like, that's a good thing. I'm sorry it hammers. The next product we have here is the Marshmallow Primer. And when I first tried this, I wasn't quite sure, but after using it and applying it underneath makeup, seeing how things apply, feeling my skin, like just everything about the look and the quality of my makeup with this primer made everything better. This smooths out your skin. It's not a pore filling primer though. This is just a general smoothness, velvety look to the skin. Really does a great job at overall smoothness, not filling in of the pores. There's other products that I'm going to mention in this video that are from other brands that I use specifically for those really deep pores, which I have right here on my face. This is just a perfect all over primer for me. It really makes a difference in how my makeup glides on, how it looks. I notice a difference with this. I'm a believer in primers myself. I know there's two types of people out there. Some people who don't believe in primers, some people who do. They work for me. I have trouble textured skin and I need a good primer, and this is one of them for me. The next thing I wanted to mention is the High Glass Illuminating Powder. And this is one of my favorite highlights out there. Drugstore, high-end. It's such a great highlighter. I've really dug into this. She has seen lots of love from me. And this isn't really a powder in my opinion. It's more of a hybrid cream consistency. Super high pigment. I'm wearing it lightly on my cheeks today. Looks skin-like, which is what I'm looking for a highlight. It has to be that skin-like sort of highlight, which I rarely see at the drugstore. A lot of them sit heavy on my skin, accentuate texture. This one sort of melts in. They do have several colors in this, though I decided to go with Moon Glow. That's what this one is, and I reach for it all the time. It's a go-to highlighter, probably my favorite one at the drugstore. So this part was the tricky part for me. I couldn't decide what I was gonna put as my 5th place spot because for the longest time I had the Lid Lingerie palette. And this is the only drugstore palette I've ever considered as a favorite eyeshadow palette, because oftentimes I find with drugstore eyeshadows, they can look good initially, but they don't wear on me. Like, I have a really hard time finding good drugstore formulas. Even some of the more popular ones from e.l.f. don't have the wear for me. They look beautiful initially, but I just can't get it to wear on my eyelids. And this is one of those products that just has matte shades. My perfect everyday sort of palette. I can just create a basic look like I have on my eyes right now. Blends easily, has a good depth in it. It's an easy go-to eyeshadow palette. However, these came out and I have to say these took my 5th place spot, which knocks out an eyeshadow palette from any of my drugstore products, which honestly isn't surprising to me, but I just had to give that palette specifically a shout out because rarely you'll see drugstore eyeshadow that is a favorite of mine, but that one truly is. It just got kind of knocked out by these. I have to be honest. These are the Sweet Cheeks matte blushes. They're a creamy powder blush. They do have ones that have radiance in it, but I much prefer the matte blushes, and these pack a punch. They are super buttery smooth, easy to apply. They have some really beautiful colors, and they just glide on the skin like blush should. Like, this is what blush should look like on your skin, is this type of formula. It's just really easy to use, just a super pretty formula. So we have Daydream and Summer Breeze. Daydream is the lighter of the two, and Summer Breeze is that really pretty coral type shade. And I use Summer Breeze more often, but I love Daydream just for that really nice baby doll pink sort of cheek. And these are beautiful blushes. The formula is not patchy in the slightest. It just goes on effortlessly, and that would have to be my number 5 pick from NYX. Maybelline. They do it for me too. It was hard to narrow it down. I kind of had that 5th place battle, but my top 4 are locked. We're locked for these. So this is number 1 for Maybelline for me. It is the Falsies Lash Lift Mascara. You can get the original. This happens to be the Ultra Noir, though I don't particularly notice a difference between the two, but both are amazing. They have that big natural bristle hourglass shaped brush, which works perfectly for my sort of lashes. I find it really grabs the lashes, gives the volume, gives the length, and just works by cupping it. It's just perfect. Perfect mascara, wears well. I don't have any issue in terms of flaking, smudging, smearing, clumping, all that kind of bad stuff. This doesn't do that at all for me. I love it. Number 1. Then if you need powder at the drugstore, Maybelline is it. Maybelline is where you need to go. Even out of high-end products, I would choose these powders. Like, this is where I would rush back to the drugstore and need to powder my face with these products. I have 2 powders here. That's how good Maybelline powders are. You need a loose and you need a pressed. They are that good. So first of all, we have the Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder, which I have in 3 shades because when you love something, you need a bunch of options, right? Am I right? I'm right. I have 10, 15, and 25. 10 is a nice yellow tone, super brightening, and I use 25 more so to set my whole face. 15 is kind of when I'm in the middle. I do find these run dark though, just a heads up. So let me show you what medium looks like. Medium is pretty dark. You can't tell too much on camera, but in my personal experience, these do run dark. That's why even when I have a tan, I'm more of a medium, and when I'm my natural skin tone, which I consider like a light medium, I can use fair. So that's saying a lot for these. I do find they run dark. So that's just my only word of caution when you pick these up, though they're super affordable. I got these around $6 each, which is awesome for powder. And then for a pressed powder, which I find equivalent to Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finishing Face Powder from Maybelline at the drugstore, are the Super Stay Full Coverage powders. And mine have a lot of hard pan on these, which you can just scrape off. Mine are beat up and used. Let's just put it that way. Hard pan is when the oils and your face products kind of make the product go like this. That's not a drugstore thing for me. That's an all powder thing when I get to this kind of use point on it. So I've just been using around here, and then I'll kind of scrape that off later. This, in my opinion, feels and looks on the skin exactly like Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Face Powder, and it has a little more coverage. So if you love that powder sort of formula, you need a bit more coverage, get this powder. Like, I use this all the time. So I mostly use, what number are you? 220 Natural Beige, which kind of has a brightening effect, but I do dip into 312 Golden from time to time. Not as much though, but still enough that I'm almost hit pan on that. So that's kind of my all over. This is under eye. I need a couple different shades in it when I really like something. My fourth place spot is the Maybelline Master Blur Stick, and this is perfect for your pores. So you know how I talked about the NYX Marshmallow Primer, which is good for all over smoothing? This is good for your pores, and it's in the convenience of a stick, which is great. You can just put it on your problem areas, which I do. I like that it's this size. I like that you don't have to dip your finger into any kind of pot. This is my preferred kind of pore filling product, and it does a really good job at blurring the skin. So if you need something for pores, Maybelline has your back. And I could have went two ways with this. These two products were battling it out for the fifth place spot. So of course, the Maybelline Matte and Poreless, super affordable, like $6-7 foundation that will make your skin flawless. Really good from the drugstore. But when I was thinking about it, what I reach for more is actually the City Bronzer. So this is their contour and bronzer powder, and they have, I think, 4 different shades. I use 200 and 300 most often. This is 300, which I'm wearing today. It's not a patchy bronzer at all. It's not too warm, not too cool. It's my perfect kind of tones for bronzer. That's why I like that they did this contour bronzer sort of situation with these. Really nice formula if you're looking for a bronzer at the drugstore. This is what I would recommend. My next brand is Burts Bees, and I had to start off with the thing that did the most for me out of the products. And I love Burt's Bees lip products. I mean, like, I got a ton here, different formulations, tinted balms, lip balms. We have oils, like, I love them all. When it came down to it, my favorite product is just their Rescue Balm. This is the Rescue Balm with turmeric. It's the cooling eucalyptus one. I use this on my daughter and myself. We both have notoriously dry lips, and this is the only balm that truly has reparative qualities to it, plus nourishes and feels good when you use it on really dry lips. So this works wonders for me. I have one for her, I have one for myself. Like, we always have this on hand at home. It is my absolute favorite holy grail product from Burt's Bees, and I had to give it a shout out first. When I personally think about Burt's Bees though, I think of blush. Burt's Bees does blush beautifully, perfectly for me. They have powder, they have a really pretty stick one that is super impactful in terms of the glow it gives. Then they have a potted one that is more matte and better for oily skin. So it really depends on what you're looking for. I love all the formulas. They're all perfect in my opinion. Today I'm wearing the powder, which I've been more so reaching for their creams lately, but I wanted to revisit the powder for this video, and oh my goodness, I love these so much. So I have a bunch of different colors here. I'm wearing the Fresh Apricot, which is actually new to my collection. I never tried this one before, so that's why I'm wearing it today on my cheeks. We have Bare Peach, which is another go-to, Shy Pink, perfect kind of pop of pink. And then my most used, which is Toasted Cinnamon, which looks like this. It's kind of like a bronzy sort of blush, which when I don't want too much color, this is what I go for. And I love these powder blushes. They have the perfect sort of finish to me. They have enough pigment where it's not overpowering, but you can really build it up, but also gives you that beautiful finish that's not too matte, but not glowy. It's like a satin, beautiful satin sort of formula, my perfect kind of blush. And then we move on to their All Aglow cheek and lip tints. I have like all the shades, and these are beautiful if you want something super dewy on your skin. So this is number 1250. These are very nourishing. I would more so recommend these for those with normal to dry skin, unless you really want that kind of dew to your skin if you're oily skin. Though I think you'd much prefer the potted formulation I'm going to show you next than these ones. These ones, you have to be like me and really need that hydration, but you can also use these on your lips too. It's a really versatile product. You can get that kind of monochromatic look, put on your cheeks, your lips. It's a go-to product of mine. They also have some highlights in this formula too, which is really fantastic. Their latest blush formulation, which are in these pots, it's their Color Nurture Cream Blushes. I have 3 shades here. I mostly use Strawberry Cream and Guava Meringue. I've used these in a bunch of videos already, so you can check those out on my channel. But this gives a really nice light flush. You can build it up, but I like how muted and soft they look on this skin. They just blend in perfectly. You can use these creams over top of a set face, which I look for in a cream. I need something that can go over top of a set face, because oftentimes I forget I want to wear a cream blush and then I already have my face set and then I can't use it. So these are really user friendly and I highly recommend. And then the last thing from Burt's Bees is their Goodness Glows Tinted Moisturizer with green tea. And I wouldn't recommend this moisturizer if you're looking for coverage, because this is as light as it comes for tinted moisturizer. If that's what you're looking for though, you'll love this. For me personally, I like this because it is just such a good moisturizer. I don't know how to describe this other than at the end of the day when I remove my makeup, my skin is soft and supple. Like, I would just wear this to use as a moisturizer because of the benefits in it for my skin. Like, I truly notice a difference when I use this as just a moisturizer underneath my makeup. It's my perfect prep for dry skin. So this is what I reach for, but I don't reach for it if I want coverage, if that makes sense. This is something I would use under something that's a little more drying, more matte, where I know that I need to lock in that moisture before I put on something matte on my skin so that it's not ruined at the end of the day. This has been a lifesaver for my skin for just the moisture and keeping it nice and soft. So I highly recommend it if you're looking for a really good tinted moisturizer, light tint, but something that's super hydrating. I would just buy this honestly as a moisturizer. The next brand I'm featuring is L'Oreal, which when I was going through the products, a lot of the products were older releases. They really haven't come out with anything new that I've fallen in love with. The last collection I remember that I truly loved was their Enchanted Paradise collection, which they do still make some of those products, but they haven't come out with anything really recently, which is shocking because L'Oreal like owns everything. Maybe they're too busy working on their other brands, but their drugstore brand needs some new innovative products, I feel. Don't you think? L'Oreal needs to come out with some new stuff. Anyways, these are what I picked for my top 5. I actually don't have the 5th one on hand when I think about L'Oreal, and you'll see why. So this is my number 1. This is in fact new to me, though it's been out for a little bit in certain places. This is the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Foundation with hyaluronic acid. So this isn't the regular True Match because I always get questions about that. It's not that repackaged. It's the one with skincare benefits in it. It has hyaluronic acid in it. So there's 2 different types. You want to try this one. Even though regular True Match is awesome, this is my favorite foundation at the drugstore. I'm using it now. It feels like my skin, like literally I cannot tell I'm wearing product on my face when I wear this. This is the most blendable, most lightweight, beautiful coverage, looks natural, not accentuating any pore, perfect kind of texture, finish. Like, I could go on and on about this foundation. Perfection is what this is. So number 1 from L'Oreal for that, I wear shade 4W. If If you guys are curious, I'm wearing that today. Then my second pick is the Lumi Shake and Glow Dew Mist, which I'm almost done. This has the best mister to ever exist. Look at how soft that is. You can like half press it too, and it has the soft mist still, or you can do a full press and it's just this beautiful fine mist. Perfect mister. Am I right? Can you see that? Can you hear that? That's perfection there. And everything's covered in mist. So I'm wearing this today. It locks in your makeup. It's one of those glowy setting sprays that don't make your makeup slide off, because I'm sure we've all tried those before. This has the perfect amount of like oil and dew, slightly oily consistency inside, but not too much where it's gonna melt your makeup off. It literally has the perfect kind of ratio in there to make it glowy, melt together, but lock in your makeup. With this mister, once I'm done this product, I'm putting other formulas I like into this bottle, and I'm repurchasing this one again just because I love the mister on this. It is perfection. So if you've not tried that, I checked, they still have it on Amazon. I think Ulta also had it if you're looking for that. And these blushes too, I had to look up to see if they still carry them, and at least on Amazon Canada I could find them still. So this was the last collection that I truly fell in love with from L'Oreal. It's their Paradise Enchanted collection. They have these scented blushes, scented eyeshadow palette. They came out with another product that I'm going to be mentioning too, but I fell in love with dropping these. I fell in love with these blushes. So these are the kind of blush that give you a glow to the skin, just a natural kind of healthy looking, your skin but better with a little bit of flush glow. Super light. You can't really overdo these. You have to build these up. They're just that sort of formulation, like you can barely see it. That's 2 swipes on my hand. Like you really need to build these up. Very user friendly, super soft, but give you a glow. These were scented initially. They no longer have a scent on mine just because these ones are older. When I like a formula, you can tell because I have multiple ones of it, and these just all have really natural, soft colors, very light. So if you're looking for something light, soft, like these are it. These work perfectly just as just a hint of color, because I don't often like too blushy of a look. Sometimes I get in a blush mood, but these are more like an everyday sort of blush product for me. Then the last thing I'm going to mention are the L'Oreal Color Riche Shines. These didn't all come in here. I only selected from my collection 12 to keep. I had honestly like all of them at one point. I love them so much. And there's no specific color that I like from the Color Riche Shines, though I seem to keep all the same sort of tones. Like all the nudes pretty much are in here, but they do have more pigmented colors like reds and stuff. They have a more balmy consistency. This one's in the shade Glossy Fawn, which is a go-to product. Just gives a perfect, healthy kind of shine to the lips, super nourishing. These don't have the greatest lasting power on them, so you do have to reapply them. But if you like the YSL Rouge Volupte, you will love these. These are like a dupe for those, but from the drugstore, which kind of makes sense because L'Oreal owns YSL. But if you're looking for a nice dupe for those, check out the Color Riche Shine formula. They are so nice. I love the packaging. I think it's super cute. But again, it was my favorite formula from L'Oreal for the lips. And as you can see, I tried to condense it to only keeping 12. Even though I had like, I swear all of them at one point because I love them so much. But that was me downsizing. And then the last product I don't have on hand, but when I think about L'Oreal, I do think of the L'Oreal Lash Paradise Mascara, which I haven't bought in a hot minute because I've been on that Maybelline one. So I would consider purchasing that again just to test it out side by side. But that used to be my favorite mascara of all time. So it is a good mascara. And when I think of L'Oreal, I think of that one. But I just don't want to have a million mascaras open at once. So that's the only reason why I don't have that on hand. Then the last brand I will be talking about is e.l.f. Cosmetics. I have my 5 here to go through. And I had to start off with their lip plumping glosses, which I have Champagne Glam here, but any of their gloss formula, specifically their plumping glosses, I'm in love with. So I'm going to apply this one to my lips. I ended up purchasing so many backups of this because I was afraid it was going to be discontinued. So I have a million. I love these glosses because they have a thickness to them that you know they're not going to just disappear from your lips in 2 minutes. They have that plumping to them too, which isn't irritating. It just is a light plumping effect. This color is beautiful because it has that kind of clear base with the shimmer in it, so it really goes with anything. They're just a really affordable gloss that works. Like truly gives your lips this juicy glow, but isn't too thin that it just disappears on you. Like it really holds its own. And then I have to say my next favorite product is their face cream. I think it's Holy Hydration now. This says Hello Hydration, but it's the one with hyaluronic acid and a peptide complex. That's what I really like. They do a fragrance-free one, which I honestly would prefer. This one isn't the one that's fragrance-free, unfortunately, but I will be purchasing the fragrance-free one after this. And this is a dupe for Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream, in my opinion. I'm about halfway done mine. You can barely see. Can you see that? If you like a thicker sort of cream, really plays nicely underneath makeup. I'm wearing it today on my face, then check out this cream. If you like Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream but want a more affordable alternative, I highly recommend this. I use it as a primer for me, a moisturizing primer. I know a lot of people still use this just as a face cream, but if you like Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream, please check this out. Let me know your thoughts. I think it's a dupe for it. My next favorite product from e.l.f. is their 16-Hour Camo Concealer, which looks like this. I use the shade Medium Beige. Wearing it today on my eyes. I also used it as a base on my eyelids. And this is great if you like Tarte Shape Tape, want something super long wearing with high coverage. It's a thicker sort of formula, which I personally like because I find it fills in the troughs underneath my eyes. It just plays nicely with all my foundations. It's not a finicky product. Good coverage, long wear. What more can I say? e.l.f. prices, like, it's a good product. I personally like it more than the hydrating version. That's just me. I know some people like the other one more, so maybe play around, check out which one you like, but that one's my personal preference. And then we have the Poreless Putty Primer, which is great for filling in pores. I use this one if I have severe deep pore issue going on. Otherwise, I honestly just use my Maybelline Blur Stick, but if you're looking for a good pore filling primer, people say this is a dupe for the Tatcha primer. I honestly like this probably more than the Tatcha. It does a great job at smoothing, and they also came out with a couple variations of their original Poreless Putty Primer, so they have a luminous one now and a matte one, so you can kind of play around and see what formula you like. I like the original. And then because they were playing off that putty formula, they came up with their putty blushes, which is my last and final thing I'm going to be talking about. Usually when I receive things like this in PR, I just pick a couple, try it, like it, keep it. But these I honestly couldn't decide. I kept them all because I loved them so much, and that doesn't often happen with me. I usually can kind of pass off some things, but this formula was such a hit. I use Bora Bora all the time. It is my favorite shade. It's this hot pink shade. It gives a beautiful baby... It's not a video if I don't throw things 5 times, right? It's a moussey sort of consistency, but blends out beautifully into the skin. When you use a sponge to apply this, and it goes on matte, it doesn't accentuate anything, gives you that color, the finish is perfect. It blends in just so well with your foundation. Like this can go over top of powder, a set face, like easy to work with formula, and that's why I love the putty formula. It's just super easy and user friendly. So those are all my top 5 products from 5 different brands. I hope you guys enjoyed this drugstore variation, and please do check out Michelle Wong, as I love her channel and think you guys will too, so her links will be in the description box. I hope you enjoyed this version, and I definitely want to do my high-end version if you guys want to see that next, so let me know by giving this video a big thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I would love for you to join the family by hitting the red button, the bell if you want to be notified of all my future videos, and I'll see you guys in my next one.